Welcome to Solomon Farm Park. Here at Solomon, we rely on the help of over 100 volunteers to keep our farm park running and beautiful. Today, with the help of Julie from the Flax and Fleecer Spinning Guild, we're going to give you a lesson in the ancient art of drop spindling.
All right, I'm here to talk to you today about a very ancient fiber tool, and it's called the spindle. And this is probably thousands of years old, the whole concept of a spindle. But these are the original fiber tools, which are as old as we are, because there have been animals with fiber wandering around, losing their fiber, getting stuck on thorns, and people pulling them off, and people twisting them. And the thing that is so magic is that when we have fiber and we have twist, we have strength, and we have something that we might be able to do something with. So if we use our fingers, we can make little pieces of string and yarn. But if we want to make more yarn, that's where having a spindle comes in handy. Now this is a nicely made contemporary spindle, and this one is too. But if we wanted to go outside and get a stick, a branch, and have a little hook on the end of the branch, we could use it to make yarn. And people still do this all over the world in different styles and for different purposes. I've just got some fiber here that's been nicely prepared. I'm spinning the spindle. I'm adding twist. Actually, the spindle is adding the twist. And the twist is moving up until it gets so long. There we go. That it would hit the floor, so I pick it up and I wrap it around. And we do that over and over and over, and it goes with me wherever I go. If I'm tending the sheep, if I'm watching the children, it goes with me. And once I have a good amount of yarn, or I run out of wool, I wrap it on my hand. Because I've put all of this twist in here, and I want to save that twist. Because if I just let this go, it wants to unravel. And it's still moderately strong, but it's more likely to pull apart. So if I take two ends, there we go, and I put them together. It's called plying. I'm making a 2-ply yarn. And I'm going to twist it back in the opposite direction. I'm just assisting its natural tendency to untwist, but when it untwists against itself, it can't go, it goes to a certain point and then it can't go any further and it can't untwist. So I have a piece of yarn that now I can use for mending my socks or knitting a little cuff. And if you keep it with you all day, you can end up making a lot of yarn. Now you see it's twisting, it still has a lot of twist. I need to let it rest and I need to wash it so that it doesn't snarl up so much. But now, it's easy to make small pieces of yarn on a spindle. So this is a cuff that I spun all on my spindles and then I knitted. But you can also make large pieces of yarn on a spindle. Just keep on spinning and then wrapping them together. So I have a bag of wool here, and I'm going to use my original fiber tools to tease the wool and pull it out so that it's fluffy. I could make a lumpy yarn or I could make a smooth yarn. What would you like to have on your skin? This is from one of my sheep, and this is from an old sheep. And there are more colors in his wool. And the fun thing about using, different bits of wool and making little bits of yarn is that you can make variety. You can change things around. I can take, here's some white that's been carded with hand cards. And this is mohair from one of my goats that have died. Now let's put some little bit of white wool on it. So I'm mixing the blue and the white. It looks kind of like sky and clouds. And then there are little puffy bits in here because my wool is very fine and it's nubbling up a little bit. Make it into what we call a row lag. And if I didn't have any hand cards, I could use some teasels because they have spiky bits to pull the fibers, loosen them up. And if I had a machine, I could take my wool to a carding mill and get a long piece of roving to spin. That really helps if you want to make a lot of yarn. Okay, so you see my spindles here. Now this kind of spindle is called a top whirl spindle, and the advantage is that it spins quite quickly, and you see I can help it spin fast here. Now, another kind of spindle that you will see a lot at Johnny Appleseed looks like this. And I'm holding my hand over the hook because it won't have a hook on the bottom. The yarn will come up. And this is a colonial type. Came over from the UK. So it's just a different style. I can't move it on my leg, but a modest colonial woman would not be rolling a spindle on her leg. Now I have some different tools over here. They're all made out of wood. Everyone in every country, except for Antarctica, has wood. And people like to manipulate wood. So, this spindle came from Turkey. Actually, it's a spindle, yes, it's 3 pieces, and it has this clever design where you put the one through the other. And then I've got this part. Make sure you get it right way up. And there we go. So I have this spindle, and again, it's like this one where the weight is at the bottom. And there's no hook on the top. This is like a good way to use little bits of yarn. Okay. I'm gonna put a knot in it. Now this one, this is spun yarn. So I'm not actually, this is all ready to use. And this is the way I'm going to use it. I'm going to wrap it around this weight at the bottom. And there are all different ways you can wrap it. I'm going under one, over two. And then I'm going to bring it, and I'm just going to do a little half hitch here so that the yarn stays put. Then I have this loop, this really nice loop. So we just need a little bit of weight to help put the twist in, because twisting it on your leg tires out your fingers, although you can do that. And it works really well. So this is a Turkish spindle. There are also Russian spindles made in this style, and there are also special spindles made for spinning cotton and different ways to spin silk. And you see this is a little lumpy. Now, to make a smooth yarn, you have to be a little more painstaking. And I will just wrap this around the bottom so you can see how the pattern goes. Over two, under one, over two, comes the white. And I have to make sure I leave enough that I can make that half hitch, but here we go, a little bit more. And you always want to make sure you have enough twist so that it's strong, and then when we double it up, it'll make it even stronger. Different kinds of spindles, and they're fun to use.